Welcome back to another bowler adventure. This time we are out at Little Elbow Campground, and as you can probably see from the tarp erected behind me, our primary goal this weekend is just to avoid getting any wetter than we already are. Yes, it is cloudy, it is misty, there's a light rain in the air, and everything is soaking wet. Setting up camp last night was not a lot of fun because it was pouring rain at that point. At least now it's stopped and has just kind of reduced itself to a light mist for now. So there's a look at our setup. We've got our regular Emily awning out, and then I've added a blue Dan tarp onto it for a little bit more dry real estate. So don't know how long it'll last. If we get a heavy rain, I'm sure everything might end up collapsing, but at least it's a start. We have room for a picnic table and some chairs in a dry spot. It's only about 8 degrees outside. In fact, as I stand here, I can actually see my breath for some reason. But yeah, not the nicest weather, but we've got a ton of books, no internet connection, so it'll be a good, relaxing, off-grid weekend. And if we get any breaks in the weather, we'll go do some walks and geocaches perhaps. But for now, the goal is to get through, or try to get through, another one of these disposable propane cylinders that have proliferated so much, and get some coffee going. I'm starting to see the first signs of steam coming out of the spout, so won't be long now. So finished breakfast, and then I pretty much just kind of alternated from reading to napping, back to reading, back to napping. So finally decided it's warmed up about 10 degrees Celsius outside. It was time to get out and actually check out the scenery here. So easy to see why we like this campground. Here at the end of Alberta Highway 66. We're just kind of walking along the riverbank here and following some random trails. No geocaches for us in this immediate area, so we're just kind of enjoying the walk and a break in between showers and enjoying little bits of blue sky that have chosen to emerge for us. So this particular trail that we're on is known as Wild Horse Trail. And yes, there are wild/feral horses in this area. We haven't seen any yet today, but we may take a drive this afternoon and go see what we can uncover. We can only go so far along this trail before we will end up right against the Elbow River, and I am not dressed nor prepared to ford the river today. Although, in the past, Tucker and I did cross the Elbow River here and then do a hike up along Forget-Me-Not Ridge. And you can kind of see the ridge here heading up into the clouds the day Tucker and I did it, it wasn't quite this bad, although I do believe it was late July as well. I'll have to check that. And to date, I think that was the longest hike I've ever done. I think our round trip distance that day ended up being 21 or 22 kilometers. The big payoff for that hike is when you get to the end and you can find concrete foundations of where there used to be a fire lookout tower. And I'll see if I can dig up some pictures from that and throw those in here. And if you ever wonder why sometimes as I'm walking and talking, I'm always looking down, it's because of this. Look at that. I don't know if you can really see it, but I don't want to get any closer. That is a giant anthill, and the surface of it is just teeming with red ants. Like, it's horrifying. Oh my God, I'm getting away from it now. And I don't know if this will show that this is basically the ant highway kind of running right across the pathway here. There's just tons of ants doing ant things. So here we are. We've kind of reached the Elbow River. Not much water flowing in this channel right now. A lot of this landscape was changed significantly after the floods of 2013. And if you look way down the valley there, right on through that pass, which I believe is Rainy Pass, very appropriate name this weekend, you can see the road that we came in on, and that is Alberta Highway 66. Much less famous than the American Route 66, but a scenic highway nonetheless, just a lot shorter. So we decided to walk across the rocky floodplain here to see if we could find where the water is flowing in the Elbow River. According to my map, this area here is the Elbow. The river back there that's actually flowing is the Little Elbow. But unlike that day Tucker and I did Forget-Me-Not Ridge, today there is no water at all in this channel. Although you can tell from the massive floodplain here, that is not always the case. So a little overview map here. Our campsite is down at this corner of the Little Elbow Campground. So we came down here and along the river, crossed the bridge over here, kind of took a little detour on a map or on a trail that's not marked on the map, out here to where the Little Elbow and the Elbow confluence, although there was nothing in the Elbow today. And now we're just working our way back along Wild Horse Trail. Basically going to trace our steps back to camp. We're just taking a creative route back to the trailer. Coming up off the road on some game trails. Because really, if you can hike without going onto a road, it's usually a more pleasant experience. And right there, Bella the Boler, out for another weekend of fun. Final tally, 5.34 kilometers. Well, we managed to time that well. We got back to camp, sat down, had a chance to have a drink, and then the rain started again. So, armed with a book in front and the propane fire pit going to stay warm, it's like time to just huddle in our little dry haven that we've created here. Ooh, I think that was lightning. We're enjoying Over's waterfall here. That's important. It's, as long as the awning is dripping water out the front, it means it's not going to get any heavier, so hopefully it won't collapse. So with the rain, we decided to do something a little different and cook inside tonight. And this is the result. We are doing shrimp tacos a la Emily.
It could be one of our more ambitious camping meals. Fairly easy to put together, but usually we keep things really simple in the trailer. So.
Good morning. Welcome to, I guess, is officially the start of the second full day of our camping trip. And we've got some stuff coming in here that we haven't seen much of this weekend, and that's sunshine. Now that the sun is out, you can finally get a look at the spectacular scenery here that you couldn't really see yesterday because of the clouds and fog. So out for a drive, see if we can spot any feral horses. We just went up Rainy Pass, didn't see any. So now we've turned around, we're heading west again, back up the other side of Rainy Pass, and we're going to go down the Powder Face Road for a ways and see if we can spot anything down there. But beautiful day, some clouds starting to form out there, so we might see some rain yet, but right now, beautiful. So we've left the pavement, we're heading up Powder Face Road, one of my absolute favorite back roads out here in the mountains. Very twisty, very turny, very rough, but beautiful scenery. Always a lot of fun. Well, no signs of wildlife yet, but just lots of wild scenery. Rocks and trees as far as the eye can see. Well, we haven't seen any wild horses or wildlife yet, but there's a nice spot to pull off here. There's a whole series of geocaches heading up the ridge over there, but we're just going to do a couple close to the road and just kind of enjoy the day. I mean, check out what we've got going on here. Like sunshine and mountains, doesn't get much better than this. Emily spotted something over here. It's, oh, soccer ball. Look at that, it's not even deflated. It's actually in pretty decent shape. Yeah. Check out my footwork. My theory is it was probably a family picnic and ye old soccer ball got kicked away and forgotten about and left behind. So I've given it a little site of prominence here on a rock, and maybe it'll find itself a new home one day. So I picked this place as we were driving up the road as a stop because there's actually a whole series of geocaches along this trail that leads up to the north to Jumping Pound Mountain. We're not going to do that today, but we're going to do a couple while we're here. First one, fittingly called Start of the Trail, is just over in here somewhere. And in fact, it's nice and easy to find, being a bright orange matchstick container hanging in the tree there. So coordinates are pretty much bang on the money. Next one's only about 170 meters down the trail. We'll go pick it off. Like I said, we're not going to do all of these, A, because we don't have the time, and B, I completely forgot to bring my backpack. So that means we have no water bottles, no bear spray, no first aid kit, basically none of the basics that you need for doing any sort of serious hike in the mountains. Second one should be, says 10 meters, so probably just over in these trees here. See if it follows the pattern as the same pattern as the last one. If it is, it shouldn't be too hard to spot. Not quite as obvious. Coordinates are putting me over in these trees here, so maybe I better check the description. So cache description says it's a micro, terrain is 1.5, difficulty's 1.5, and it's called no climbing required. So shouldn't be any sort of trick to it. It's just a matter of laying eyes on it, I guess. The only hint listed is in tree. So expand the search radius a bit, given that signals tend to bounce out in the woods here. Likely hidden on the back side of a tree, so it's not visible from the trail. But I'm about 10 meters off right now and not seeing anything. Oh, Emily's. Oh, Emily spotted some wire and then spotted the container. Okay, it fell down. Perfect. Emily will do the honors of signing us in. I can hold the dog for you. Mabel's more interested in eating grass than finding the cache. So we're about 8 meters away from this next one that's called Stumped on Jumping Pound Mountain. Probably Jumping Pound Mountain Trail. So this seems like a logical spot.
Rock in the tree.
Ah.
Oh, look.
Uh-huh. Rocks don't usually grow on trees, so that was a good indication. There we go. And looking at the topo map, it appears that this is the last one before you start the actual climb in earnest. So we're going to call that good, given our lack of supplies, and head back to the truck and continue our little drive along Powderface Trail, Powderface Road. And Mabel found a cow pie along the trail that was crusty on top, but fresh in the middle, shall we say, and kind of fell through it. So Emily's taking Mabel down to the creek here to get a little bit of the washing done before Mabel gets back in the truck. And it's a great spot to appreciate the scenery here. The mountain creek. And this is going to be our turnaround spot. We're going to head back towards camp, and yeah, we have a little
Tag along.
Butterfly friend with us. There we go. Turnaround complete. Just gonna pull over here and get my bearings a little bit. Working our way back. Still didn't see any of the wild/feral horses, but what we are seeing is some dark clouds starting to form back over where the campground is. So it's been a nice day so far, but I think we're going to get some more rain before today is done. So I had another afternoon nap after our little excursion there, and we didn't get any rain yet. There's still a few clouds in the sky, but we're starting our dinner preparation here for our last night out. Doing grilled corn on the cob and some chicken legs. So that's the plan for this evening. And I don't know if I got too much sun, but I have a bit of a headache. Just not feeling that enthusiastic right now. There we go, morning 3, and the coffee is on. As is traditions on most mornings when we're getting ready to head home, we just kind of take things easy, make the coffee inside, have some muffins, get on the road, beat the rush, all that fun stuff. So it's been a great weekend, totally relaxing. We've had no internet access or anything. I've read an entire book this weekend, which almost never happens anymore. So it was a perfect getaway, but it's time to get back into the real world again. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.